Hello there, folks, and welcome to day 2 of the Neotokyo Summer Skirmish 2025. We've got ourselves a real quick demo cast right now just to cover the technical issues that occurred on map 1 of BONK versus Slightly Less Incompetent. For those of you who are watching, you will have noticed that there was a grey screen as there was an overlay issue. Unfortunately, we will not have the overlay this time as this is a demo cast. But to make things interesting, I'll try and give you some insider insight into my own personal play coming into this match. We'll be obviously starting from round 1 for the lineups. We have Stellar Nova, Ningarist and Infrequent for Bonkurazu, and for Slightly Less Incompetent we have Dragon M, Talibus and Ghost Lizard. Map 1 was Envoy and map 2 was Scrap Metal. We did have a third map as well on the listing. For those of you who have not watched it, I'll keep that as a surprise on what the results are.
3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go, round 1. Have ourselves Bonkurazu on Jinlei. They have the elevator spawn here. And SLI on Bunker. Talibus on the Assault, Lizard on Recon, Dragon on Support. We have Stellar Nova here on Recon and Frequent on Assault. Ningu on Support as Ningu is going for that kitchen. Talibus taking that midpoint here. Now, it's a good note to make right now that it's very common for Assaults to go on the mid. We see a little bit of damage going out, but watch this grenade on mid. Here it comes. Boom. You delay your pre-nade, you will get a guaranteed assault kill on mid every single time on Envoy because it's super common. Meanwhile, Lizard holding that tunnel and Dragon on Z. Stella on Archers just behind Bamboo, Infrequent holding Ghost here, getting those calls out on Rocks. Meanwhile, Ningu holding Kitchen into just Horseshoe and Bridge. So, Dragon getting the equalizer here. Stella went for a flank, mistimed the push, did not get the kill there. It happens. And now we've got to a 2v2 situation. However, BONK has the information. BONK knows where they are. They have ghost control. Mingu gets the engage on the support. Now, I went for the flank here. I didn't step out into the open. I instead chose to shoot the fence because I didn't know where the recon was. I didn't want the recon to peek out of storage because I was not aware that here comes Lizard. Ningu holds the angle though, gets the kill. I believe I pick up the Ghost here, get the call out on Dragon who's on 28 HP. Doesn't really stand a chance here. Yes, he has a super, but we have the map control. We can do whatever we want. I push forward. I know a call out was made that Ningu wasn't reacting, but the reality was I was pushing forward to pull Dragon out of position. And that's why, because Ningu gets the kill. So a strong round 1 there from BONK. Envoy being that map where you're looking for that midpoint control, midpoint pick into map control and objective control.
Could you just pause it for like 5 seconds and then resume?
1, 2, 3, 4, resume. Cut. Okay, now we have a swap spawn here. Ghost on mid. Talibus again holding that midpoint, looking for that angle. Lizard on Archers, Dragon on Kitchen, very typical positioning here. BONK taking the earlier positions, whilst Infrequent is sat on tunnels. Getting the information, looking for the call-outs, and then we take the positions. The idea really is just to not die to the pre-nade. Not die to the pre-nade, not take unnecessary damage early round. I'm making a little bit of noise here on tunnels, trying to drag them out. Some shots here going out. Just find one landing shot here on Talibus. No retrade, and Stella uses that information for a pick. Lizard goes for the trade, doesn't quite find it. I'm able to collapse. And here we go. Again, Dragon looking for the trade out there for Dragon. But as you can see, 3v1. Hopefully desynchronization is sorted out now. If it's still desynced, chat, please let me know. I'll try to adjust. So 2 rounds to 0 here. We've got corporals across the board for BONK, and we've got a weapon trade out. Now you're going to see something very interesting. If you watch me here, I'm got the MX, and you think, oh, okay, that gives a massive advantage. But look at the position and the angle that I go for. I'm pushing forwards here on garage, looking to catch someone out pushing from tunnel, but as we can see, that SLI isn't going for it. They're playing rocks outside of Z and also horseshoe. I've noticed that in 3v3 people don't play storage all that much. Shots going out. I don't find any targets. Instead, I get 15 damage on Talibus and I take 80 damage. The ZRS early game, very strong. Once again, not finding any damage there. Meanwhile, Stellanova getting ghost. Dragon's going for the rotation. And I'm going to take a very static position here. Ningu holding up here with his ZRS. Very strong here for Ningu, because he can smoke out and then he can use that accuracy and lack of tracer to stay hidden. Talibus going around suicide and Dragon watching that ladder, looking for the flank, but we're very much static here on mid. Here comes Talibus. Can't quite get the angle though. He's got two guns staring him down, so if he exposes himself, which does quite there, but the timing is off for BONK, they don't find the damage. Now, I went for that shot there, and I know that, yeah, Talibus is on 8 HP, watching that suicide, which means that Dragon is on their own. They're isolated. This lets Stella go up, and Ningu to support Stella. And Stella to pincer on Dragon. So again, it's just really just patient player. Getting information, looking for a pick. If you can get the pick, great, and then isolate and pincer on the remainder. Very much a solved meta on Void, I would say. Mid play is very strong with staggered alternative lanes as well. You can rush the alternative lanes, but Stella, would you say I'm 3 seconds forwards or 3 seconds behind?
I'd say you're about 3 seconds ahead.
Okay, I'll pause one more time. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Talibus on mid again. Ghost on pit here. Oh, dip. Lizard taking the upper point, but drops back, sitting on the rocks. In an audio gathering, like info gathering position there for Lizard. Meanwhile, BONK static up on Z and suicide. I'm able to get a pick here. Talibus is out of position now. Gets picked out by Ningu. And this leads Dragon on his own with his ZRC in tunnels. Just get a crucial pick there, gets a little XP on the board. That second kill as well gets him to 3 XP. And this leads me to my next point. "10 seconds? How am I 10 seconds ahead?" Stella, am I ahead or behind? You need to tell me if I'm ahead or behind.
Let me check if is your play rate a bit faster or something? So mine's 100%.
Mine's 100%. I've paused it every time and the amount is only now increased, which tells me that I'm actually not behind.
No, you're ahead. So you need to stop, which is what we've done.
Well, here we go anyway. Yeah, looking for that pre-nade. Doesn't quite find it. Go for the pick on Lizard. Now, I see a dead body. This was noticed in the cast. Yeah, I see the dead body because I I'm so used to a recon peeking that location that I expect there to be a second person. And now, sitting in dark, 6 HP, we've got Ningu pushing through Z here, going to apply some pressure on the flank. Very strong, but Talibus expects it. I think Talibus heard the ladder. This, however, makes Talibus push forwards. I was expecting a support, but I'm listening for that push. Yeah, it just, again... singular picks. A lot of midpoint here from SLI, but they're not finding those initial picks to get the map control that they need. ZRL here for Stella taking a backwards position on suicide. I'm looking to cover that. Horseshoe, Ningu hopping his way through Z. Meanwhile, Talibus on the SRM, so we do have a weapon trade here for Lizard. Yeah. Weapon trade does get that kill for Lizard there, but immediately traded out. That ladder push gave the position and the push away. I will pause one more time.
Pause, maybe 3-4 seconds each round.
Yeah, folks, don't worry. Muffin's talking to me. He's not casting, so don't worry about his audio. And we have a funny round here. I elected to give the A to Stella. We're going to do some crimes, but we would kind of both just went a little bit potatoes. You're probably going to see here. We're all pushing kitchen, all going horseshoe. Ningu goes mid, and boom, boom goes the super. We already knew that Lizard was getting the super, but we didn't fire. I think Stella had a no-shoot thing because of sprint, and I just didn't react in time. However, Ningu has picked up the air. Boom, boom, boom goes the air. But Lizard is on the hunt. Does find some damage, drops Ningu down to 20. Out goes the nade, not quite finding the target, but does drop him down to 8 HP. So now the ball is in Dragon's court. He has map control, he has the HP, he's got the range. Although I don't think the range counts here on this map. Pushing through kitchen. Ningu, I believe, is aware of the push. But here comes a very slow push, checking those corners. Yeah, but Dragon was checking the corner. Ningu steps into the fire. That gives a point down to SLI. Do we see any more weapon trades here? No, question mark. I don't think we do. No, we don't. Here comes a debt pack. And yeah, folks, just because you'll have first person, you will never get quite lined up with where pre-aim is, just because the service is different to what the player sees. That's just the nature of this engine. However, on NTRE, you get a bit more accurate, but even then, you're still not going to have it dead on. It's still going to like look a bit funky for first person view, so don't expect it to be a Q roll. And Nade does find Stella here. Stella in that predictable spot. Meanwhile, created that. I go for the retrade. Looking for Lizard. We're on round 8. I can hear him, but he can't hear me. If he can't hear me or his audio's not set up correct. One thing I've noticed is that every time you start the game, unless you're using a config, your audio settings will reset. Round 9, and we're going into match point. Storage ghost, I believe. Yes, it is. I'm looking for that storage control. Get coverage on it. Talibus on support here. Interesting switch. Dragon throwing it out. Out goes an nade into storage. Does not find the target. Out a nade. Again. Does actually get some damage here on Talibus. A kill. Smokes are going out. I'm holding angle. Some damage here goes out on Iningris from Lizard. He's holding that jetpack in hand, looking for a kill. Dragon with a ballsy push there, gets the kill on me. Spread momentum. My head is only showing, so you can only land headshots. But this is now a 2v1 situation. They have the ghost. They can easily convert this into a win. Lizard quite out of position there, actually. Not able to get in a position to stop that push, and that was map 1. A rapid map 1 there. And yeah, you can never quite sync up demo player. It's just obviously, even if you get the tick correct, you've got delay from audio between Discord person to Discord person, and yeah, you're never going to get it in sync.